But I want personally, in my heart, I want Chandler to win because I think there's more interesting matchups. I really do want to see those matchups, but I'd love to see him against someone like McGregor. I think that'd be a great matchup because he'll trade a bit with McGregor, but he's still got the shoot opportunity to sort of like throw into the mix, but he will trade at times with McGregor. It'll be super interesting.
Oh, yes.
We shall see. We shall see.
It would be a strike fest, mate, I think.
Yeah.
So then we have the main event, my friend. The main event of the evening. The notorious Conor McGregor makes his return and a rematch versus Dustin Poirer. Dustin Poirer has been grinding since he last faced Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor has done all sorts of crazy stuff over that time, whether it's boxing, whether it's winning 2 titles, knocking out a legend in Jose Aldo in, 13 seconds.
Yeah.
He's done a lot. One thing I did want to say before we make our predictions for this one, just as we kind of preview it, I was watching the UFC preview of this fight, and then they were kind of breaking down the original fight between the two, and they focused very much on the mind games beforehand. And look, Conor McGregor is very good at that sort of stuff. He gets under his opponent's skin. That's how he beat Jose Aldo, as he got Aldo so emotional that he made an error. Conor McGregor planned for that error, and that was what she wrote. And whilst he did get under Dustin Poirier's skin, and he did get inside his head a little bit, I thought he actually beat him because he was the better fighter on the night. Technically, he set him up beautifully for the finish by doing certain things. And you were talking about Conor's movement in that fight and the way he set him up for the finish. So I think sometimes, because of everything which goes on outside the cage with Conor McGregor, people don't always give him the respect that maybe he deserves as a fighter, and he certainly his fight IQ in terms of setting up people. What do you think about that?
Yeah, look, he's an incredible striker. He's got incredible movement, awareness of his own range. I don't think he's the best defensive striker when someone's putting it on him. I think we've seen him fall foul at times, but why he's got fresh and energy in him, man, he's just a laser beam precision. He's got a clear, incredible power. He's fast. He's quite diverse in his strikes as well. He's not a typical leg kicker. You don't see him bashing proper hard leg kicks, but he does go hard to the midsection, hard to the head. He's got that really rangy spinning heel kick. And that cross hand, that cross left hand of his is absolutely devastating. So, yeah, I'm going to have to stick with McGregor on this one. The issue I always have with McGregor, really, in recent times is the fact that he's so long out between fights. And he's...
I think in this case, it's not actually down to him, though. I think the UFC didn't want to bring him back until there was fans back, is my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he said straight after the Cerrone fight, because he beat Cerrone in a minute, and he looked as focused and as fresh and as sharp as he did in his run up to winning those titles, and he had said, like, I want to fight straight away. And with COVID and lockdowns and restrictions, I just don't think the UFC wanted him. They want Conor McGregor, they want on pay-per-view with fans there, so they can maximise their money, which, I understand that fully. Is it a coincidence that we've got fans back in the stadium, albeit not a full stadium, and Conor McGregor's back? Yeah, I'm going to go with Conor McGregor. However, I would say Dustin Poirier is not one to take lightly, but I just think Conor McGregor's the better fighter. And I think when people get lost sometimes on all the other things, and they forget that he is just good. He's a good fighter. Khabib is a special fighter. Nate Diaz was a way up. They're the only two people he's lost to in the UFC. I think when you look at that and you look at then the people he's beaten and how he's beaten them,
it's very hard to be. Even though I'm picking out McGregor, it's very hard to be super confident either or. To be honest, Poirier's not the fighter that he used to be. He's hugely more experienced. This is now done at a different weight as well. Whether that makes a difference or not, probably not, because they're probably naturally growing in size as they get older. But Poirier's he's done so much since they last fought, so that really could be something that he could use to bring differences from their previous fight, and make difference enough to pull off the win in his favour. I certainly wouldn't be writing him off, but I just think that precision and that outright power and the movement of Conor McGregor will pose him more opportunities to win than Poirier.
Yeah, I mean, their stats are so even, like even from their records, like Poirier's 26-6 with 1 no contest. McGregor's 22-4. They're both 5'9". McGregor's got a 2-inch reach advantage. Their like knockout stats are 86% for McGregor, 50% for Poirier. Decisions, Poirier's got 27%. McGregor's only got the 9%. Their average fight time, which I was quite surprised by this, how even it is. Poirier's is 8 minutes 55. McGregor's is 8 minutes 20. So actually, they're really evenly matched up.
Right.
Obviously, McGregor's got the kind of strike advantage in terms of finishing fights via knockout and stuff like that. But even like their grappling statistics, their significant strikes, they're 49%, both of them. They're so evenly matched that their takedown defense is 69 and 70%. Their takedown accuracy, McGregor's is 62 and Poirier's 41, and they're so evenly matched that I think you'd be silly to say one's going to definitely win.
Definitely win, yeah. You just can't with these two.
It's fighting at the end of the day, mate. We talk about it all the time, anything can happen. For me, it's McGregor. I think he's going to go on and he's probably going to win the lightweight title, or he's going to at least fight for the lightweight title. I'd be very interested to see who he fights for it, for me. Because I don't think Khabib wants to fight him again, for whatever reason. I don't think he's interested in that fight. I think Khabib would fight Dan Hooker. I think Khabib would fight Chandler. I think Khabib would probably fight Tony Ferguson. He'd probably fight Dustin Poirier. Charles Oliveira, he's mentioned. I don't think he wants to fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor wants, if he decides he wants that title, they're going to have to make a decision one way or the other.
Yeah. I don't think Khabib will be going over old ground. I just don't think he wants to do it as decided, especially as he's already said that he's retiring. He won't come back to do something that he's done before.
They have started exchanging insults again, which is always a sign that maybe, just maybe. I would love to see Justin Gaethje versus Conor McGregor. I've got to be honest. That
would be a very, very good match.
That's the one for me, or even Ferguson versus McGregor. Although Ferguson at the moment, I'm not so sure, but Dan Hooker versus McGregor.
Yeah, if McGregor wins, if Ferguson doesn't make sense because he's lost his last two, so I don't know. Doesn't make sense, but McGregor would gain nothing by fighting him after he's had 2 losses in a row.